How many times did you guys see, you guys probably spoke about it, yo, 6ix9ine's done, he snitched, he's not gonna have a career no more.
Yeah,
how many times you seen
everybody
that?
said,
No one said it for certain, but we
no,
definitely talked about
I said
it.
this. I said this.
No,
I said if you got out.
No, not here, not here. On the news, on the media outlets.
Everybody said he was done.
Everybody. I come home, I sell 1 million records, go platinum first time. Comes out the biggest fucking artist in the fucking world, 2 million views on live.
What if hip-hop's most hated figure was right all along? For years, 6ix9ine was treated like the culture's biggest outcast after cooperating with federal authorities. But behind the trolling and public chaos, Tekashi kept making bold claims about hypocrisy, selective loyalty, and industry manipulation. And over time, many fans felt those predictions started lining up with real events. One of the clearest examples was his explosive feud with Lil Durk. The clash between Lil Durk and 6ix9ine became one of rap's biggest online rivalries, eventually spilling into real-life consequences.
I just feel like everybody speaks on a situation till they're in it. Now he's in it, so now let's see what you like. Everything. You ever had a girl that gives another girl relationship advice, but she's getting cheated on? Like, you know what I mean? So it's like Durk is the bitch that's giving that advice on how to handle a situation, and now he's in that situation. So, and the same guys he took care of is snitching on him.
By the time they crossed paths, their careers were moving in opposite directions. 6ix9ine was rebuilding after his federal case, while Durk was rising fast and openly standing by anti-cooperation values. After Tekashi pleaded guilty in his racketeering case and agreed to cooperate, Durk criticized him publicly on Twitter, making it clear he wanted no connection to the controversial rapper. Everything changed in April 2020 when 6ix9ine was released. He quickly scored major attention with Gooba, then reached the top of the charts with Trolls alongside Nicki Minaj.
No career, comes out, and is the biggest artist in the world. Excuse. Yeah, well, people just excited, the hype, yeah, like, whatever, right? It's hype. He's not gonna go #1, right? He ain't going #1.
Right.
Goes #1.
Big bad. People
Big
mad.
sick.
Riding that momentum, Tekashi started calling out other rappers online, mocking them for failing to earn a #1 hit. Most ignored him, but his attention soon shifted straight to Lil Durk. The rivalry exploded again in June 2020 when 6ix9ine traveled to Chicago and filmed himself placing flowers at the location where Durk's cousin, Newski, had died. He shared the video online, presenting it as a tribute while promoting his upcoming album. Many people viewed the timing as deliberately provocative, triggering immediate backlash. Durk responded indirectly by announcing The Voice would release on September 4th, 2020, the same day 6ix9ine planned to drop Tattletales. During an Instagram Live, Durk told fans not to feed the online drama and also claimed people connected to 6ix9ine's team had offered him $3 million to keep the feud going. When September 4th arrived, 6ix9ine released Tattletales, but Durk delayed The Voice. Tekashi immediately mocked the move online and again referenced Newski's death to taunt his rival. Durk answered by releasing a single instead of the full album, later saying 6ix9ine should have focused more on promoting his project after Tattletales struggled commercially. The feud stayed heated, and in August 2020, Durk appeared on Drake's Laugh Now, Cry Later. In his verse, he rapped about telling clubs to turn off That Little Boy's music because they didn't support informants. Most listeners saw it as a direct shot at 6ix9ine.
You do not play that little boy in the clubs.
We do not listen to rats.
Yeah.
Wait, who's he talking about?
What's the name of that song?
Sometimes we laugh, sometimes we cry. Laugh now, cry later.
So who's laughing now? Who's laughing now and crying later? So you see how the same thing they threw at me, laugh now,
Cry later.
cry later.
Yeah.
Laugh Now was released to 2020, 2021.
2020.
Cry Later, what year are we in?
2026.
Who's facing trial?
But the events that followed would take their rivalry far beyond internet drama. In November 2020, King Von was killed in Atlanta, shocking the hip-hop world. Soon, Slide for Von spread across social media, with many fans urging Durk to seek revenge. 6ix9ine leaned into that conversation, repeatedly questioning whether anything would actually happen.
Why was he lacking?
You know what?
Why was he lacking?
It doesn't matter. You're missing. I don't
So
understand
what
the
is
point.
King Von right now?
He's dead. But what's the point though?
I'm right there. So King Von is a solid nigga, and he got killed, right? The nigga poked out and put 5 in him, right? And he dead, right? So King Von died lacking.
You hurt my feelings.
No. Hear what I'm saying?
May he rest in
King
peace, man.
Von died lacking. Nipsey died lacking. Pop Smoke died lacking.
Right.
So niggas can't lack.
Throughout 2020 and 2021, he argued that once money, careers, and major legal risks entered the picture, the reality rarely matched the street image people promoted online. Since no public, verified retaliation was reported during that period, the debate stayed mostly on the internet. Everything changed in October 2024, when federal prosecutors unsealed an indictment tied to a 2022 shooting in Los Angeles. Prosecutors alleged it was a murder-for-hire plot targeting Quando Rondo in connection with King Von's death. Court filings named several people and claimed the suspects tracked the target before opening fire near a Beverly Hills gas station. Prosecutors also alleged Dirk helped organize and finance the operation, though those claims remain unproven and no verdict has been reached. Since then, 6ix9ine has openly mocked Dirk's legal troubles, insisting the years of online pressure eventually became real-world consequences. Whether that claim is true or not, the once digital feud is now closely tied to an ongoing federal case with potentially life-changing stakes. To Tekashi, these contradictions showed that the backlash was never only about cooperation. It was also about who the industry chooses to forgive and who it refuses to accept. He had pushed that argument for years, and eventually even some former critics appeared to acknowledge parts of it. During heated online debates in 2025, Fivio Foreign, who had previously criticized 6ix9ine, posted that while Tekashi often acted recklessly, this was one topic where he believed he was telling the truth. That caught plenty of attention because Fivio had little reason to defend him. As the discussion grew, 21 Savage also clarified earlier comments. He said his view wasn't meant to reject hip-hop's history or address any specific criminal case. Instead, he described the street lifestyle as a cycle of trauma, prison, and loss that often takes far more than it gives.
21 Savage, I don't know the nigga. I never mentioned it. The nigga mentioned me first. He had a song called Snitches and Rats. He said all rats must die.
Was that talk about you though?
At his album release party, 21 Savage put a mouse with rainbow hair, and he used a part of my video on a shirt with bullet holes going through it.
Even if I seen him, I don't got no intention to do nothing to you. You just a rat.
Right, I don't got the problem with the nigga. You act like I came at him. He came at me.
Just cause you call a nigga a rat, that don't mean you gotta kill him when you see him.
I never came at 21 Savage in a whole song. He see me.
I don't know what.
Even so, many people remained unconvinced by that shift in tone. For 6ix9ine, these double standards existed long before the YSL trial brought them into the spotlight. He often argued that the music industry applied its rules unevenly, speaking on topics many artists avoided. Tekashi has also claimed that being so outspoken damaged his career. Before today's major legal cases, Meek Mill had already taken a firm public stance against cooperating with law enforcement. On June 10, 2019, after reports of Tekashi's cooperation became public, Meek strongly criticized him. Rather than treating it as a complicated legal decision, Meek described it as a serious character issue, calling 6ix9ine someone who created conflict and then chose to cooperate with authorities. He doubled down in an Instagram comment, saying that kind of behavior should not be celebrated and encouraging young people to avoid chasing attention through trouble, and instead focus on building successful lives. His position stayed consistent. On September 17, 2019, while 6ix9ine was appearing in federal court, Meek again posted online, telling younger fans to see Tekashi as a warning about pretending to live an internet gangster lifestyle and encouraging them to earn money through legitimate means. By then, 6ix9ine had become Meek's biggest example of betrayal within the culture. But on May 8, 2020, when Meek repeated his criticism, Tekashi answered publicly. Instead of denying his cooperation, he questioned why Meek seemed so focused on his case and argued that the street code was being enforced selectively. The disagreement grew beyond a personal feud, with Meek defending his principles while 6ix9ine challenged how those principles were applied. Eventually, Tekashi shifted his attention from individual rappers to what he described as the larger power structures within the music industry. At the center of 6ix9ine's argument was Roc Nation CEO Desiree Perez. As one of the music industry's most influential executives, she has worked with major artists, including Meek Mill. Tekashi repeatedly pointed to Perez's documented history of cooperating with federal authorities after a past drug trafficking case.
Desiree Perez cooperated with the federal government in the 1990s. She was distributing kilos of coke. She was a civilian, a cartel distributor who was caught by the federal government, made into a rat, and they made her wear a wire, and she took two cartels down.
He argued that her career continued to grow despite that history, while he was permanently rejected. Using that comparison, he questioned how Meek could take a zero-tolerance stance against him while working with someone whose past also involved federal cooperation.
Going to being said, if you're so against ratting and principles and integrity and morals, you don't sign with a rat. So basically saying, oh, I'm just gonna single out 6ix9ine because he ratted, but I won't say that my boss is a rat.
6ix9ine never claimed the two legal cases were identical. Instead, he argued that the act of cooperating was being judged differently depending on the person. Supporters of Meek responded that Perez's case happened decades earlier before her music industry career, making the situations fundamentally different. Tekashi rejected that explanation, saying it proved his larger point, that public reactions often depend on a person's influence, status, and connections, rather than a single rule applied equally to everyone. The conflict eventually spilled beyond social media. In February 2021, 6ix9ine and Meek Mill had a heated confrontation outside an Atlanta nightclub parking lot. Videos showed Tekashi approaching Meek while recording on his phone, shouting insults and mocking the rapper's security team. Although the encounter ended without further escalation, their online feud continued. Rather than seeking forgiveness, 6ix9ine kept demanding an answer to why he believed one standard applied to him while different standards applied to others. As new legal cases emerged, the conversation around street codes began to change. Early on, 21 Savage strongly criticized 6ix9ine after news of his cooperation became public. Years later, his message shifted. Rather than defending the old code, he argued that the traditional streets were effectively gone. To Tekashi, that change mattered because he believed it happened only after legal pressure started affecting more respected figures. In his view, the rules were enforced strictly when he was the target, but became more flexible once others faced similar scrutiny. By 2020, 6ix9ine had moved beyond criticizing individual rappers and started attacking the music industry's larger power structure. During Instagram live sessions after his release, he questioned how chart success was measured. He claimed record labels, streaming platforms, and corporate influence played a major role in shaping commercial results long before fans saw the final numbers. Years later, those ideas returned to the conversation in an unexpected way. In 2025, Drake drew attention online after interacting with an Instagram post shared by DJ Academics that featured a reposted clip of 6ix9ine's 2020 comments about the music industry. Whether people agreed with Tekashi or not, the discussion he had started years earlier was once again being debated. Interestingly, Drake ignored 6ix9ine's claims when they first spread online. He didn't publicly engage with them until years later, after the industry conversation had changed. During late 2024 and into 2025, Drake became involved in legal disputes connected to his feud with Kendrick Lamar. Court filings from his legal team raised questions about song promotion, algorithmic visibility, and the influence of record labels and streaming platforms on what listeners see and hear. A similar debate returned during the YSL case in 2022. Gunna accepted an offered plea, which allows a defendant to accept a conviction while maintaining innocence, acknowledging that prosecutors have enough evidence to pursue the case. Court records also show he agreed that YSL met Georgia's legal definition of a criminal street gang for purposes of the plea. Gunna did not testify against any co-defendant, but the agreement quickly reignited many of the same arguments that had surrounded 6ix9ine for years. The culture once again debated whether Gunna's legal decision should be viewed the same way as Tekashi's or as a fundamentally different situation. Industry commentators quickly leaned on legal distinctions to defend Gunna's reputation. Supporters argued that because he never testified in court or directly identified anyone before a jury, his actions should not be considered betrayal. They described his plea as a legal strategy rather than cooperation with the state. 6ix9ine strongly rejected that argument. As the YSL case continued through 2023 and 2024, it became clear he wasn't the only person questioning that explanation. Young Thug, the founder of YSL and a longtime friend of Gunna, remained in jail awaiting trial. During that time, leaked messages, social media activity, and their public distance led many observers to believe Thug viewed Gunna's plea as an act of cooperation and a personal betrayal. Around the same period, an old recording of Young Thug speaking with law enforcement surfaced online. In the audio, he spoke calmly with investigators and told them they could contact him if they had more questions. That recording did not lead to a plea agreement or courtroom testimony, but it sparked major debate across social media. Young Thug denied that the conversation amounted to cooperating with law enforcement and said he had never been a cooperator. His situation was not the same as 6ix9ine's or Gunna's, and it's possible the recording lacked important context. Even so, the leak added another layer to the growing debate over how the culture defines cooperation and whether those standards are applied consistently. To many hip-hop fans, the similarities were hard to ignore. When Young Thug criticized Gunna's plea, many applied the street code without hesitation. But after Thug's own recorded conversation with detectives surfaced, many people argued the situation was more complicated. Those changing standards are exactly what 6ix9ine had claimed for years, that the rules often depend on who's involved rather than being applied the same way to everyone. What's even more interesting is that, years before these debates, Young Thug had publicly supported 6ix9ine. In 2017, they teamed up on the track Rondo, and the collaboration was widely viewed as a major cosign from one of rap's biggest stars. Looking back, it shows how quickly opinions and alliances can change once legal issues enter the picture. So what do you think? Was 6ix9ine exposing real double standards, or are these situations too different to compare? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one.